This is Red Carpet Fly's News on the Fly, bringing you daily unique and interesting entertainment, celebrity, and luxury news for January 24th. Before we get started, I just want to thank everyone who joined the Red Carpet Fly Twitter Spaces meet and greet. It was great getting to meet with everyone and speak with you guys and get to know you a little bit better. So thank you for coming out and participating. I hope to have more of those type of events in the future. Okay, before we get into these headlines, you know what to do. Like, follow, and subscribe to Red Carpet Fly and hit that notification bell so you don't miss a single News on the Fly episode. Okay, let's get into these headlines. Erika Jayne changes caption after Lisa Rinna is accused of blackfishing. According to Page 6, the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills star had her co-star Lisa Rinna's back after posting a photo of them on Instagram that led fans to accuse Rinna of blackfishing. In the image, Jayne 50 and Rinna 58 were all dolled up in 70s disco attire. Erika originally made the caption Donna and Jerry, referring to Rinna as Donna Summers and herself as Jerry Hall, but changed it to Cher and Jerry after fans began to comment on the actress's tanner than usual appearance. If that's Donna Summers, Rinna be hidden up the blackface, one user commented under the post. Another user commented, Lisa Rinna stay problematic, #blackfishing. For those of you who don't know, blackfishing is a modern term used to describe someone who pretends to be black by changing their appearance using makeup, editing, or even surgery. Some fans were quick to defend Rinna, stating that Erika had picked an overly saturated filter or that Rinna had overdid it with this spray tan. Rinna also posted a solo shot of her glam look to her Instagram feed, where her skin tone appears lighter. We call her Cher, she wrote in the caption. These pictures were for Rinna's larger-than-life collection launch last Thursday. So blackfishing has become a huge phenomenon in the era of social media. Is this a case of black folks being too sensitive? I don't know. I looked at the picture and she does look pretty tan, and for those of you who don't watch the show, she's usually not this dark. But does she go as far as blackfishing? I don't know. Fashions, body types, and even skin color, once applied to fairer tones, all of a sudden become so gorgeous and beautiful when the actual black people, the fashion, body type, or skin tone that it's copied from gets ridiculed. And this isn't conjecture or me just spouting off opinion. We've seen it with cornrows and the Bo Derek braids. Same style, but on black people it's called ghetto and on white people it's exotic. However, in this case, I'm not so sure. She is very tan, but I don't know if she's blackfishing. What do you guys think? You guys see the picture. Comment below and let me know your thoughts. In more news, Black Twitter drags Awkwafina after NAACP Image Awards nomination. Crazy Rich Asians actress Awkwafina is facing backlash on social media after being nominated for an NAACP Image Award, reported Yahoo News. Last year, she was facing harsh criticisms about her consistent use of a black scent. Now that black scent has won her a nomination in a ceremony intended to celebrate black people. According to an article in The Root, Awkwafina's nomination is for Outstanding Character Voiceover Performance in the Disney animated film Raya and the Last Dragon. Though the NAACP Image Awards is not exclusive to black people in Hollywood, this nomination upset many people as they believe Awkwafina benefits from mocking black people. The actress reacted to the nomination on Twitter, stating that she was extremely honored to be nominated at NAACP Image Awards along so many people I love and appreciate and respect. She added, "Thank you at NAACP for all that you do and have done." However, she has yet to address the mounting backlash online over the recent honor, nor has she thoroughly explained her past use of black scent. She did state in a Reuters Showbiz interview that she was open to a conversation about her use of the black scent. Maybe she hoped the whole thing would boil over after a few weeks, but she was incredibly mistaken as Black Twitter wasted no time to snatch her up. Out of all the awards, you would think the NAACP Image Awards would be the last one to nominate someone like Awkwafina, who thinks it's okay to make a minstrel out of black people for a living. Yikes, reads one tweet. Another tweet accused Awkwafina of retreating from her black scent because she's taken on bigger projects such as Marvel's Shang-Chi, The Legends of the Ten Rings. Almost every other movie or TV show character she's taken on has donned a black scent, which ultimately resulted in her rise to stardom. However, in a 2017 Vice interview, she spoke strongly about how Hollywood writes and casts Asian characters. Well, she sure doesn't mind making a minstrel out of other people. What's most concerning is how she was invited into a space safe for black people while having disrespected them as a means to be successful. They all knew about her, knew who she was. They know she is not black, black, so why would the NAACP nominate a non-black? That is a slap in our face, read another tweet. So, my thoughts on this. Don't mess with Black Twitter. But seriously, my take is that Awkwafina needs to address this whole black scent thing because it's going to keep cropping up and biting her in the ass. The fact that she doesn't address this only fuels the fire and seems to confirm what people are saying about her. Just face it head on. It's undeniable that black culture is ubiquitous. It is everywhere, and sometimes I struggle with if people, non-black people, are acting black. Are they truly acting black and putting on, or is that something that they've truly adopted into their personality? Like, for example, I have a Mexican friend, and she has very black mannerisms and uses black terminology and phrases. However, she grew up in Gary, Indiana, around black people, so she's adopted to talking and acting that way. So I wouldn't say that she's acting black. People often think I'm acting white or being a white girl because of how I talk and behave, but I'm not acting or being anything but me. This is how I talk whether I'm talking to a friend or in a business setting. I might talk to a friend or family member and use more familiar terms and phrases, but this is my voice for the most part. So when it comes to other ethnicities using a black scent, I'm not so sure it's an act. I know Awkwafina is from New York, which is a melting pot of cultures. I know she's a rapper, and I have not met one non-black rapper that doesn't in some shape or form act black somehow. Like, hip-hop and rap was born from black and brown people, so I'm not surprised that other ethnicities would adopt some of that black culture. Like, you can't separate the two. There's always going to be some kind of black culture overtones in their music or behavior. The NAACP can give awards to anyone it pleases, but what I would like to know is how they landed on Awkwafina for this award. This story of the black scent and the previous story of blackfishing all fall under the gray area of cultural appropriation. And I think what's important here is intention. I'll say it again, Awkwafina's silence on this issue just makes it worse. What do you guys think about this? I'm going to punt it to you. The never-ending pivot. Amid the Omicron surge, restaurants have turned to tasting menus. We all know that COVID has really hit the service industry, especially restaurants, really hard. In an attempt to keep their heads above water and adjust to the ever-changing COVID guidelines, restaurants have come up with creative ways to keep their doors open and still provide an experience for their customers. One such chef that has changed with the times is Greg Backstrom of Olmsted, a restaurant based in Prospect Heights, Brooklyn. In a Rob Report article, Olmsted has ditched the a la carte menu to adopt a prefix offering every night. December, which is usually the busiest time for restaurants, was a really tough month, Backstrom told the Rob Report. The Omicron surge created a lot of stopping and starting of service, and with that, the holidays, it just felt really difficult to put out food that was up to our standards. Backstrom isn't alone. Alfonso Shakari's Casa del Chef Bistro in Queens also adopted a tasting menu, while across the country, the Seattle dining institution, Canlis, has done the same. This format requires fewer staff and allows us to better and more safely serve our team and our guests. The restaurant posted on Instagram announcing the change to an 8-course tasting menu-only restaurant as it rides out the Omicron surge. It was a move that others embarked on early in the pandemic. Michelin star Bell's in Los Alamos, California made the switch to a tasting menu as it gamed out how to open safely after the initial wave of pandemic lockdowns. Back in March 2020, we were forced to make a fast decision on the viability and the future of Bell's without any clue of what was to come next. Companion Hospitality CEO Greg Ryan says, the initial drivers on this decision were balancing less guests in the dining room and making sure we were covering our staff's health care. We had to switch from a volume-driven mindset to a price-driven one. Along with tasting menus came a set of 20% service charge. Tasting menus help address two key problems restaurants are facing right now: the labor crunch, made even worse by the Omicron variant, and inflation that has increased food costs. A tasting menu format foundationally allows us to run with a better budget as we're bringing in less variety of food, which changes the cost of food overall, Backstrom says. Also, with a set menu, staff isn't spending time prepping a la carte dishes on the chance that they'll be sold that night. So I just saw a report in the news today that said prices on groceries were going to rise again, which is crazy because I felt like this is the third time so far that the prices on groceries have gone up. Are you guys eating out amid the rising Omicron virus? I have gone out to eat at a restaurant. However, they have to be outside on a patio or some kind of outdoor dining situation, or I won't eat there. I'll just pick up. Actually, I lied. This past Sunday, I went to Olive Garden with my family after church, and that was inside, and I don't remember them asking for vaccination cards or anything. But that usually isn't the norm. I usually eat outside. I haven't seen any of these type of changes that's in this article happen to chain restaurants. So this may just be happening at the high-end Michelin star level restaurants, but whatever happens at the top usually trickles down to the chain restaurants. I know I've said this before, but I am over COVID. Like, I have COVID fatigue like nobody's business. I know everyone is having a different experience depending on where you live in the US or the world, but here in LA County, if you plan on going out, it really is an event. I mean, that is if you care about not getting sick. I know some people are still living and carrying on their lives like there's no pandemic going on and not wearing masks or anything. But for those of you who are not trying to spread the virus, going out is definitely a coordinated event. Like, you have to find a restaurant that you like and then make sure it has a patio or some type of outdoor dining area. And then for a while, the restaurants here were only doing reservation only to control the number of people in their establishment, which sucked. I'm just ready to go out and not worry about getting sick or bringing the virus back to loved ones. I can honestly say I haven't gotten sick with COVID, so I think I may be asymptomatic, but I would hate to think that I took the virus back to my parents or older family members. How are you guys holding up during COVID? Has life returned back to normal for you? Well, that's it for Red Carpet Fly's News on the Fly for January 24th. Please like, follow, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Red Carpet Fly, and follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Red Carpet Fly. And until tomorrow, always stay fly.